To yet another tutorial. So for this tutorial, I'll be making that beautiful leg gown. So to start with, I have 3 yards of shiny face satin. If you're making yours, just make use of Mikado. Yes, Mikado fabric is the best fabric for this. So, but because of this, for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just have to make use of this shiny face satin. So to start with now, I'm going to cut the front. If you're using Mikado, you don't need to line the dress, but for me, I'm going to line this because it's kind of transparent, probably because of the color. So for me, I'm going to fold my fabric into 2 first. I'm going to start with the front. The front has a pleat, so I'm going to leave 4 inch for the front pleat. For me to fold, I'm going to first measure my hip is the biggest part of my body, which is 42 divided by 4, that gives me 10.5. so that 10.5, I'm going to add my sewing allowance and his allowance to it, which is 2 inches. That makes it 12.5. Then for that 12.5 also, I'm still going to add my pleat allowance, which is 4. So 12.5, that makes it 16.5. so I'll be folding 16.5. so now I'm going to mark out, measure 16.5. so I'm going to here now I have 16.5. so, and my gown length, I'll also consider my gown length while cutting, because that gown is short. I don't want mine to be short. My total gown length, my new length is 40 inches. So 40 inches minus the gathers that is at the end. The gathers at the end is just like 6 inches. So I will say, let me just 7 inches for the gathers at the length. So 40 inches minus 7 inches, that gives me 33 inches. So I'll be using 33 inches for my gown length now. So I'll just measure out 33 inches like so that I can cut out the remaining fabric and it will be easy for me to cut. So this is my 33, but that 33 I'm going to cut 34 because I'm going to use half to join it at the upper part, then half to join it at the lower part. So I'll cut out 34 inches. Now I'll go ahead and cut out 34 inches. So it's now easy to work with. Now what I have here now is easy for me to move around so that we can easily see and understand. So now I'll first mark out my 4 inches, the 4 inches that is going to be for my that pleat at the front. So I'll mark out 4 inches. We can just fold it up like this. So it will not interfere with our measurement. So now I'll go ahead and take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 13. Half of 13 is 6.5. Then I'll add half inch for joining the sleeve to it, making 7 inches. So I'll mark 7 inches. Then from there I'll come down by 1 inch to make a shoulder slope. So I'll mark my neck width. My neck width is going to be 2.5 for this style. 2.5. Then I'll make a slope from this neck, from this neck slant, drop down like this. So I'll make a slope. I hope the shock is visible. Okay, I only have, let me try pink shock to see if it will be more visible than the my armhole, which is 8 inches. So think this is visible. Okay, so 8 inches, this is my armhole for the front. Then I'll go to the center and come in by half an inch. Then make my slope, make my connection to make my armhole like so. So from here now, I'll take my bust measurement. My bust is 36, which is 9 when divided into 4. Then I'll add 2 inches for ease and sewing allowance, making 11 inches. So I'll measure my half length. My half length is 15. From that my half length, I will take my waist measurement. My waist is 32. Quarter of 32 is 8 inches plus 2 ease and sewing allowance. That makes it 10. I won't be adding that to this style because it's a kind of free style. Then I'll go to my hip length. My hip length is 24. I'm in 23. So from that 23, I'm going to measure my hip, which is 12.5. The line has moved, so I can still make use of 2. Then I'll just draw a straight line down to the end there, because then I'll connect this line like this with my hip and my waist. So I've connected the lines together. Now I'll go to the front again and then come down by 3 inches for my neck width, for my neck depth, I'm sorry. So I'll just connect the line like so. Then because I'll be using this to cut for the front, let me just make the neck depth for the back. So the back will be 1 inch. So I will just go and make my curve the same way I made this for the front. So now let me just make my back armhole. Good. So we are done with the upper part, so I can cut out. So I'll mark the pockets point. I'll go ahead and cut for the back. I'll bring the zipper allowance I'm going to be using will just be 1 inch or 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance, because I don't want it's not a pleat that is 4 inches. So I'll just place the front on the back. Like this allowance is too much, so I'll have to reduce it. So this allowance is okay like this now. Then so this is my allowance that I have here now is enough for the zip. So I'll just trace it out and cut out again, cut out the back. Cut this, then I'll go ahead and get my mid. Now I use 1 inch to know my back depth, where I'll be going in by half an inch to prevent my back from bulging. So I'll just go in like this and then trace it out this way. And cut this out completely. If you are using Mikado, it's Mikado that was actually used for the style. If you're using Mikado, you don't need to line. I'll continue to say you don't need to line. But me, I'm just lining because I don't. I'm using satin, and satin seems very light. So yes, I mean it seems transparent. So because of the transparent effect, that's why I want to line it now. So we are done for the back. Now I'll take the back aside. Then I'll come back for the front. So for the front now, we can now cut out the front neckline properly like so. Then the armhole, that is out here. We also cut out the armhole. Okay, now we are good. So for the front side now, we are just going to turn it to the front like this, get the center this way. I will get to the sewing aspect. I will show us how we sew this, that, and then cut this part open so that it will not enter into the neckline. So let's go ahead to cut the gathers that was at the end. For the gathers, we said we are using 7 inches. I said we are using 7 inches. So 7 inches plus half inch for joining it down, then 1.5 inch for hemming it. That makes it 9 inches. So I'll be cutting out 9 inches. This fabric, the length is by 60, so I'll be cutting 9 inches in by 60, so that when I gather it to be okay, it will be full enough. So I folded this into 2 now, then I'm going to fold it again into 4. So because I want to make use of the whole full length. So this is going to be for the gathers at the end. I want 9 inches. So okay, this is okay, this is 9 inches. Then I can cut it out. So this is going to be for the gathers, the pleat at the end of the cloth. Then now the sleeve. The sleeve is just a short sleeve with a kind of turn up. So for us to cut that, I want the sleeve to be like 8 inches. So with 2-inch turn up, that makes it 10 inches. Then half for joining it, that makes it. So I'm cutting the 2 sleeves together. This is going to be 10.5. I need 10.5, so this is more than 10.5. I can still cut. Let me just fold here. Then I'll cut out the sleeve. Still should be okay, 10 inches, and I need 10.5. So here is 10.5. Then I will just come down 10.5 here. My sleeve cap is always 3.5, so this is 3.5. I will just come from there and then draw my cuff, my sleeve cuff, so I'm good. Then I will just bring this down. I'm not going to pencil it because it's a free sleeve, it's a straight sleeve. So divide this into 2. I'll also go ahead to cut out lining for this, for the front and the back. I'll cut out the lining for it. So before cutting out the lining for the front, because we have to get the perfect front before we can cut out the lining, I will go ahead and measure 4 inches all through here. This is my 4 inch. You see I'm not marking it on the right side, so that because I'm sewing on the right side, I'm going to sew this this pleat on the right side. So this is my 4 inches. This is my 4 inches. So this is good. So now I'll go ahead and sew from here down. After sewing from here down, then I will use my iron to open it up just like this. Let's say this is the cloth after sewing it. then I will now use my iron to open it up. Use iron to open it, to press it neatly, then I'll come back to show us the next step. Guys, I'm done cutting the lining for the back, and also I went ahead to sew the plate at the front. Look at, after pleating it, then I iron it out smoothly this way. So when you're doing yours, you just do the same thing. You make sure that you iron this before cutting the lining. So I will turn it to the other side now so that it will be easy for me to cut out the neckline. The reason why I left this part is so that when I want to cut the neckline, it will not be shorter than what is here. So now I can now cut out the neckline this way. So now I will go ahead. I think this neck is too high, 3 inches is too high, so I want to bring it down a little bit. Let me just bring it down by half an inch. That 3 inches is too high. That's what I think. If you think it's okay for you, you can just leave it. Just use 3.5, and if you don't like your plate to be choking, just use 4 inches. So it's okay this way for me. Then the next step now is to go ahead and turn it with the line. I've cut lining for the back, and I've also cut lining for the front. So I'll just go ahead like this, place my lining on the fabric, then sew on the neck. Remember, I just cut out half an inch for the front here, so I'll also cut it out for the lining too, because when I was cutting, I'm supposed to place the lining on it, I forgot. So when you want to do anything like that for yours, make sure that you place the lining on it. So I will cut out this part now. Good. So now I will go ahead and sew along the neckline, then sew on the side, sew this side and sew this side also. I'll do the same thing for the back. After doing that, I will go ahead, turn it over, give it a good press, come back to show us the next step. If you are using a cardou and you're not lining, there's no need of you turning this lining. You just go to the next step I'll be showing you after this now. So let me quickly do that and come back. Hey guys, I'm done attaching the lining to it, and here it is. I'll give it a good press. So look at the way it is. Here is the front, and this is the two sides for the back. So the next step for me now is to go and close the back up and fix my zip. So my zipper is size 24, so I'll measure 28. From that 28, I will just sew the zip allowance I left. So this is going to be 22. So from 22 here, I'm going to sew, this is my 22 here, so I'm going to sew 1.5. I will not use 1.5 because I left 1.5 as the zipper allowance, and I've used half to turn it. So I'm going to sew like 1 inch. So I'm going to sew 1 inch to the end here. I'll close it up, then I'll fix my zip on at the upper part. When I'm done with that, I'll come back to show us the next step. Guys, I'm done attaching the zipper to the back. Look at it to see how pretty it's looking. Then I've also finished the hem here. The next step now is to go ahead and pleat or gather the lower parts. So I'm going to go ahead and gather the lower part. Let me get the lower part. Here is my lower part. So I'm going to gather, I cut out 2, you remember, so I'll use 1 here. I'm going to be using ½ inch to pleat it. I'll just be holding the gathers little by little, little by little, little by little, till I exhaust what is here, till I get here. Then I'll do the same thing for the front also. And when I'm sewing for the front, I'll make sure that this lace is like this while I'm sewing on it. So I'll do that. Then after doing that, this way and use it to sew. Then after sewing, I will attach the sleeve and end the end of the sleeve. I will attach the sleeve to it, I will just sew the sleeve to the end like so from here this way, then I'll sew around. When I'm done sewing the sleeve to it, I will now go ahead and sew from the side this way down to the hem. Then when I sew to the hem, I will do the same thing for the other side, then I will hem the end. That brings us to the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and